You can do everything right. We can eat clean, lift, hit our steps, take the right supplements, and still wake up feeling like we got hit by a truck. And sometimes the reason is not your routine, it's your room. Noise is the recovery tax almost nobody tracks. Not because we're lazy, but because it feels normal. Traffic, neighbors, a barking dog, a 5:30 a.m. garbage truck doing Olympic tryouts with your dumpster. Here's the unfair part, our brain keeps listening while we sleep. Even when we don't fully wake up, noise can trigger microarousals, lighter sleep, and stress signals that quietly chip away at recovery. So today, we're building a noise-proof sleep setup. We're going to cover the sleep fragmentation angle, the blood pressure and stress angle, and the bedroom checklist that fixes this cheaply. And we'll keep it realistic. We don't need a silent cave. We need fewer spikes, better masking choices, and a nervous system that finally believes the night is safe. First, let's talk about what noise actually does to sleep. Most people think the only bad sleep is when we remember waking up. But the nervous system plays a different game. It can jolt the body without giving us a clear memory. Your heart rate can bump. Your sleep can shift lighter. Your brain can do a quick threat check and then drop you back down. That sounds small, but repeat that 10 times a night and we're not sleeping. We're getting interrupted recovery. Now let's connect this to longevity. We don't talk about noise as a health lever, but it behaves like one. Fragmented sleep affects appetite signals, mood, training recovery, and morning blood pressure patterns. It also increases the odds we chase the fix with more caffeine, more sugar, and less patience. Noise doesn't have to be loud to be disruptive. The real enemy is often unpredictability. Sudden spikes, sirens, footsteps, doors slamming are the worst because the brain can't settle into a stable pattern. It's like trying to nap while someone randomly taps your shoulder every 12 minutes. Not violent, but insanely expensive. Here's a simple anchor that changes everything. The World Health Organization has recommended bedroom noise targets that are surprisingly low. Inside the bedroom at night, less than about 30 decibels is often cited as a goal for good quality sleep. For outdoor night noise, targets are commonly around 40 to 45 decibels depending on the source. Most apartments in city neighborhoods aren't close to that, which means millions of people are paying a nightly recovery fee and calling it normal life. Now we need one quick decibel lesson. Decibels are not linear, they're logarithmic. A 10 decibels increase is a big jump in sound intensity, and it tends to feel roughly like twice as loud to our ears. That's why a bedroom going from 35 decibels to 45 decibels doesn't feel like a small change. It's a different environment. This is also why it's only a little louder is often the lie that steals sleep. Next, we need to talk timing. Early morning noise is sneaky because the second half of the night is more fragile. As the night goes on, REM periods get longer. Deep sleep tends to front load earlier. So if noise spikes hit between about 4 a.m. and wake up, they can steal the part of sleep tied to emotional regulation and mental recovery. That's why people can get 8 hours and still feel wired and cranky. They didn't lose time, they lost quality at the wrong time. So here's our longevity compass rule. Don't only ask, how loud is my room at bedtime? Ask, what happens between 4 a.m. and wake up? That's where the garbage truck, the hallway footsteps, and the neighbor's heroic morning routine can quietly steal your last 60 to 90 minutes of recovery. And that last hour is often the difference between waking calm and waking like you were chased in a dream by unpaid bills. Now we're going to fix this with a simple 3-night noise audit. No perfectionism, no remodeling your apartment. Night 1 is baseline, night 2 is ceiling and blocking, night 3 is personal protection. Then we keep what works. We're not chasing silence, we're chasing fewer spikes and fewer nervous system pokes. Night 1. Measure baseline. Use a phone decibel meter app as a screening tool. Check the bedroom at lights out. If you wake up at night, take a quick look. Then check early morning when noise is usually worst. Write down 2 numbers, your average and your peaks. Because peaks are the villains. The average is just the cover story. Night 2. Block and seal. Sound is like water. It finds the smallest leak. Start with the cheapest wins. Close windows fully. Add removable weather stripping around doors or windows. Use a door draft stopper or sweep. Add a thick rug and a rug pad if you have hard floors. If you can move the bed, move it to the quietest wall. Not the wall facing the street. Not the wall shared with the hallway, elevator, stairwell, or your neighbor's home theater. We're not trying to make the room pretty. We're trying to make the room boring. Night 3. Add personal protection. This is where most people get the biggest benefit. For unpredictable spikes, earplugs are usually the highest ROI tool. They don't have to be fancy. They have to fit correctly. If you've tried earplugs and hated them, there's a strong chance they weren't inserted well. Foam plugs need to be rolled thin, inserted, and held briefly as they expand. Poor fit equals basically no protection. And yes, it can feel weird at first, but so does waking up angry at 6:12 a.m. because a motorcycle announced itself to the planet. Now let's address the big debate: earplugs versus white noise. This is where we want to be calm adults, not internet warriors. Masking noise can help some people. Continuous sound can reduce the sharpness of spikes by giving the brain a smoother baseline. But more noise isn't automatically healthy. White noise and pink noise are not guaranteed sleep medicine, and some research suggests effects vary by person and by volume. So our rule is simple. If we use masking, we use the lowest effective volume, we keep the source away from the head, and we consider a timer instead of blasting it all night. If earplugs solve the spikes, we usually prefer earplugs over turning the bedroom into a sound bath nightclub. Here's the quick practical hierarchy. First choice for unpredictable spikes, earplugs. Second choice, physical barriers, ceiling, curtains, rugs, furniture placement. Third choice, masking, used carefully and quietly. And the best long-term solution is reducing the noise at the source, when possible. We know that's not always in our control, but we can still control the bedroom stack. Now let's make this renter-friendly. Apartment strategies should be layered defense: seal, absorb, block, then mask only if needed. Seal. Door gaps, window gaps, and any obvious air leaks. Sound rides those channels. Absorb. Fabrics matter. Rugs, heavy curtains, upholstered furniture, even a bookshelf against a shared wall can reduce reflections and soften the room. Block. Move the bed away from the noisy wall, and place dense furniture between you and the noise if possible. Mask. Lowest volume, away from the head, ideally not all night unless you know it helps you and doesn't irritate your sleep. This is not glamorous, but it's one of the cheapest recovery upgrades we can buy. Now let's talk about early morning noise specifically, because that's where a lot of people lose the war. If the room is quiet at bedtime but loud at dawn, we build defense for the last hour. Earplugs become the priority. Windows get closed before sleep, not when we wake up. If you use a fan or air purifier for gentle background sound, keep it low and consistent. The goal is masking spikes, not creating a second pollutant. And if your schedule allows it, shifting bedtime a little earlier can help. Not as a moral flex, as a practical defense against the 5:30 a.m. city alarm clock. Now we need one more important piece: daytime noise rules. Because noise is not just sleep, it's hearing and stress too. For hearing health, a simple public health anchor is that long or repeated exposure around 85 decibels and above increases hearing loss risk. Sounds that are below about 70 decibels are generally considered much safer, even with longer exposure. Here's the practical rule: if you have to raise your voice to talk to someone an arm's length away, that environment is probably loud enough to justify hearing protection. Concerts, power tools, motorcycles, loud fitness classes, even some restaurants that are basically cardio for your ears. We can still live our life. We just stop donating our hearing and our nervous system for free. Now let's connect noise to blood pressure without fear-mongering. We're not saying noise causes heart attacks overnight. We're saying chronic exposure, especially at night, is associated with higher cardiovascular risk in population research. And the mechanism makes sense. Sleep fragmentation and stress physiology can keep the body in a slightly more activated state over time. For people already dealing with high blood pressure, poor sleep, or anxiety like awakenings, reducing nighttime noise is a smart, low-risk lever. It's like taking a small rock out of your shoe. It doesn't solve your whole life, but it stops the constant irritation. Here's how we track progress without becoming neurotic. We don't need perfect decibel charts. We want a simple before and after. Fewer wake-ups, less wired mornings, steadier mood, and better recovery. If you track blood pressure, check morning readings for a week before the noise upgrade, then a week after. We're looking for trend movement, not one magical number. If you track sleep, ignore the sleep stages drama. Focus on wake-ups, total sleep time, and how you feel at wake up. The goal is not a perfect sleep score. The goal is a nervous system that stops getting poked all night. Let's finish with a 7-day plan that actually sticks. Days 1 to 2. Measure your baseline and identify the biggest spike window. Most people find it's early morning. Days 3 to 4. Seal the leaks. Door sweep, window gaps, curtains, rug, bed placement. Cheap first. Days 5 to 7. Add earplugs and run the test. Keep everything else the same and see what changes in wake-ups and morning mood. If masking helps, add it quietly as a last step. Lowest volume, away from the head, and consider a timer. Then keep the smallest stack that gets the biggest result. That's the longevity compass way. Here's our bottom line. Noise is not just annoying. It's a recovery stressor that can fragment sleep even when we don't remember waking up. We don't need silence. We need fewer unpredictable spikes, a bedroom setup that blocks leaks, and tools like earplugs used correctly. Because if we fix the night, we don't just get better sleep. We get better mornings, better training, better mood, better blood pressure trends, better life. If this episode helped, hit like and subscribe. Check the description for tools and affiliate links that match today's episode, plus our Longevity Compass Amazon KDP book. And comment, quiet night, if you're doing the 3-night noise audit. We'll be in the comments rooting for your sleep and your sanity.